G'day, Pest 2002 here again, aka Captain Wilson. As I said before, we're going to start doing a bit of stuff on pest control. I've been involved in the pest industry for quite a long time, as in over 15 years now. I decided a few years back to become a timber pest inspector, and not bragging, but I did top the class, only person to top the class in the last 8 years. So I do know me timber pests, that's 100% for sure and certain. Chemically or non-chemically, I've managed to get rid of many termite problems in the area. I specialise in the north of Sydney, so the north side's an area that's not easily pleased. The clients over there are pretty fastidious and they expect something like overnight, and with a lot of the pests that we have around today, it's almost impossible to do a treatment in one hit, especially when it comes to termites, bed bugs, fleas, things like that, German cockroaches. Due to the high toxicity of the old chemicals, i.e. DDT, aldrin, dieldrin, heptachlor, things like that, which are now proven carcinogens. I can kill anything within an hour, but it'll also kill you within 10 years. So if you want cancer, sure, go with some older company or some guy that's a bit of a backyard man that doesn't give two shits about anybody except himself and his pocket. But if you want a real job and you want your children safe and no cancer problems in your family in the next 10 to 20 years, give us a yell, James Wilson. James Wilson, Domestic and Commercial Pest Management. ABN 31779679 so I am legit. I am a fully licensed timber pest inspector as well, so that covers all your timber pests, from I suppose wood lice right down through to the old termite. You do know there's over 700 species of termite in Australia. The main four are the ones you've got to worry about: Coptotermi species and Shadowrhinotermi species. They're the main ones you've got to worry about. If you've got coptos, God help you. If you've got shadows, they're like greyhounds. They are extremely hard to eradicate and they are very, very fast. So if you get an inexperienced termite man and he says he's going to get rid of your Shadowrhinotermes intermedius, he's a dreamer. He won't have a hope in hell. Like, it took me 5 years to learn how to eradicate shadows. So don't think it's easy. I got taught by a guy that had 50 years experience. He was one of the best. The only reason I gave him away was a lot of these pest men pretty well up themselves, that's all I can really say, and you be nasty to them and they'll certainly be nasty to you, you know. Don't ever give smart remarks or be cheeky to the pest man, you know. He doesn't care if he gets you back again or not, you know. There's a big customer base in Sydney, so if he loses you, he doesn't really care. You get smart, he'll laugh at you, he'll spray water, still take your money. We don't do that. I rarely advertise. All my work's through word of mouth, so I do a bad job and I starve. So that's the way I do it anyway, you know. I'm not saying they're all shonks out there, but believe you me, in the last 15 years, I'd say 10% of the industry don't know what time of day it is. So I'm just giving you the heads up there. And as for thinking you're safe going with the big reputable companies, well, I've subcontracted for a few. I'm not going to name them because I'll be in court. And I've been told by them while working for them to spray in the rain. I've done things for them that you're just not allowed to do, you know. In the end, I just told them to stick it because, you know, I believe in looking after the environment. I believe that the customer's entitled to a decent job. I believe that if you're a poor person or a pensioner, you should be given the best discount that is possible. And I mean, even if you have to cut the price in half, maybe not even make a profit on that job, it's just, you know, part of being a decent Australian. So I just don't do that. If you're a pensioner and you're listening to this, I guarantee you, 100%, you give me your quote, and if it's a real quote, not a bodgy quote, I reckon I can cut it clean in half for you. So how's that? And in New South Wales, the regulations for a termite barrier, 12 months warranty, which is bloody ridiculous. You know, there's ways and means to scare the termites out of your house for a year without using no chemicals whatsoever, just using a couple of techniques physically. So That's pathetic. I give 5 years warranty, which is 5 times the warranty that's required by law. Reason being, all of my customers do their houses every 5 years. The product lasts 5 to 7. So if you do it every 5 years, you're never going to have a problem, and you'll never have termites tearing the house apart. And you do know a mature nest can hold up to 20 million individuals. If it is a mature colony, it'll take your house out beyond repair in 18 months. So it's up to you. If you want termites and you don't want to spend any money, you're not going to have a home. You know, termite barriers can average for say an average 4-bedroom home with good access around the external perimeter. We can get a barrier around a home like that for around the $2,000 mark. That's an external perimeter. If you want an external perimeter and the subfloor done as well, around all your piers and stuff, you're looking at around $3,500, as I say, with 5-year warranty. If the termites are already in the house, that is classed as an active treatment. When it's an active treatment, baiting is required, dusting is required. The new way is these great premise and termidors. I'm not too keen on them. I'm getting some reports from France now that termidor is a possible carcinogen, so they're not going to tell us until they've run out of the $50 or $100 million worth of stock they've got. So I play it by ear usually, wait for something to be used for 5 to 10 years, and then I'll give it a go. Well, at this stage, I still believe in the tried and trusted good old-fashioned arsenic. Now, in a house, you use less than a gram to do the whole house of arsenic. So don't think you're going to get poisoned by the arsenic. Sure, it stays in the environment for just about forever, but I don't put enough in the environment for you to even worry about, and the dust itself is in places where there's no way in the world you or your children will get to it. And as for dusting, when you dust with arsenic, too much arsenic, and the termites are extremely intelligent, as I've told you, they'll avoid it. They'll actually seal themselves off if they're already been tainted by it, and they'll suicide themselves. They'll actually just lock themselves up and die in there to make sure the rest of the colony survive. So they're very, very intelligent. If it's not enough, it's not going to work. And the way the arsenic does work is, as the termites are walking through their trails, they leave pheromones. That's the trails that they follow. The pheromone might say that there's food up the road, or the pheromone might say, well, this is the way home. So they're always leaving a chemical trail. Well, along that chemical trail, I'll put slight amounts of arsenic, just enough so they don't notice it, and they'll pick up a bit, and every one of them greets their queen. When they go back to greet their queen, give her a touch. Well, 10,000 touches equals one dead queen. When the queen dies, the nest is finished. That's the end of that. They just don't survive without a queen. When their queen's gone, they're lost. It's like a sheep that's lost its farmer. They just wander around aimlessly until they're dead. They don't even feed it like they were feeding before that queen had actually died. So once you get the queen, you've more or less got it. Termites are evolving like everything else in nature. Everything evolves, and we are getting what's called subnests now. I used to be able to go to a house, treat, find the nest. Once the nest was located, I know the problem was solved. But now we have subnests. We actually have 2 to 3 nests in the one colony. Reason being, they can now go, instead of 50 metres from the colony to the food source, they can go 150 metres. They can put a sub-nest 50 metres away, then another sub-nest 50 metres from there, and the main nest is another 50 metres away in a tree, maybe in a park. So that makes it extremely hard for them to be located, and it makes it extremely hard for us to do our job. So, point 1, you find termites, don't touch them. Point 2, the man with the can of fly spray or Baygon that thinks he's sprayed a few and he's done the job, has just made the biggest mistake he can make. He's killed a few. The ones that got away have gone back down the ground to tell the others there's danger. They'll seal up that area. They won't use it again. They'll start coming up somewhere else. So you've just made my job an extra 4 or 5 hours of location. And sometimes, once that's been done, we never locate the nest. So we just got to keep baiting and baiting and baiting. And it costs you money. So you do not spray the termites. You find mud leads, you do not